What is hearing impairment? Hearing impairment is a disability, where permanent that affects a child's educational performance. This refers to the reduced function or loss of the normal hearing mechanism. This also limits the person's sensitivity to tasks like listening, understanding, speech, and speaking in the same way those persons with normal hearing do. We have here the two main categories in hearing impairment. So the first one is the deafness. Deafness assures a total incapability to hear a sound. A person who is deaf cannot use hearing to listen, understand speech, and communicate orally without special adaptations, mainly in visual mode. They are also often use sign language for communication kay maglisod man na sila og um, sabot if storya ra gyud na imuha tanan kay bungol man sila, dili man sila kabati, so they need special adaptations like katong sign language. And hearing loss above 91 dB. The second one is hard of hearing, a hearing loss that impair their understanding of sounds, including communication, exhibits a partial incapability to hear a sound, communicate through spoken language, and can benefit from hearing aids and etc. Hearing loss is below 91 dB. So for example, ano kay akong lolo kay kada kadlaw managat pa na siya. Nya iyang pukawan akong papa like do managat ka pero itubag sa akong papa nga unsya nga ha dili like makabati siya pero lahi iyahang sabot. Murag dili clear sa ilahang dunggan ug unsa ilahang mga nabati. So di gid sila magkasinabtanay pero pwede pa na siya makagamit og mga hearing aids kay gamay ra man na ang kanang kuan sa ilahang dunggan ana. According to the age of onset, we have here the four kinds of hearing loss. The first one is the congenital. Hearing can be congenital when the condition is present at birth. So, causes of hearing loss in newborns are infections such as rubella, herpes simplex virus, premature birth or low birth weight. The second one is the adventitious. Hearing can be adventitious when it is acquired after birth or later on. Adventitious can be caused by injury, disease, or genetics. Common cause is exposure to noise. The third one is prelingual. Hearing impairment that occurs before the child learns to talk. Deafness is prelingual. Those are who were either born deaf or who lost his or her hearing early in childhood or before acquiring language. The last one is the postlingual. Hearing impairment that is acquired after the child has learned speech, usually at the age of 2, is classified as postlingual deafness. It can occur gradually or with sudden onset hearing loss. Contributing to these factors to this problem may due to use of ontotoxic drugs, brain injury, overexposure to loud noise, or come from the normal aging process. And now let me show you the anatomy and the physiology of the human ear. The first is the inner ear, middle ear, and the outer ear. So makita nato dinha no ang mga klase-klase sa parts sa ato ang mga dunggan. The first organ is the auricle or pinna. Diri siya naka-locate ni siya sa main part or the outer ear. Ang function niya is to direct the sound into the auditory canal or external acoustic meatus. When sounds enter the external acoustic meatus, mo direct din na siya towards sa middle ear. And now let's move on to the main part or the middle ear. So we have three organs in this middle ear. The first organ is the eardrum or the tympanic membrane. Its function is a thin, cone-shaped membrane that vibrates in response to sound waves. It separates the outer ear from the middle ear. The second organ is the ossicles chain, or composed of malleus, incus, and stapes. Its function is to accept the transferred acoustical energy that turned to mechanical energy caused by the movements of the eardrum. And last is the oval window. Its function is the path through which mechanical energy enters the inner ear. The vibrations of the ossicles transmit the mechanical energy from the middle ear to inner ear with a little loss.
Ngayon ay dumako naman tayo sa classification of hearing impairment. Conductive hearing loss. Kapag ang sounds hindi na pumapasok sa middle at outer ear mo, tawag doon ay conductive loss. So, example nun ay ear infection or otitis media. Ibig sabihin, meron siyang ear infection and media, pag sinabi mo naman media, ibig sabihin sa middle. So, kung buo pang inner ear mo, pwedeng idaan sa surgical or medical treatment. And pwede rin nagpe-prescribe sila ng hearing aid. Sunod riyan ang sensorineural hearing impairment. Kung sa conductive hearing loss, nag-start sa middle and outer, dito naman is nag-start siya sa inner. So, kapag hindi na nade-deliver ng kakleya ang part niya patungo sa brain, tinatawag itong sensorineural congenital. So, ibig sabihin ka damage na yung auditory nerve niya from ear to brain. So, dito, konti na lang yung chance niya na magamot. So, example nito is since birth, yung mga newborn babies. Next, ang mixed hearing impairment. Dito, same mo na nararamdaman or nararanasan yung conductive at sensorineural hearing impairment. Example, so kapag nag-work ka sa maingay na lugar or meron kang tubig sa tenga, 'di ba? 'Di ba yung isang tenga mo may tubig, tapos yung isa wala. Parang ganun yung pakiramdam niya kapag meron kang mixed hearing impairment. Kapag sinabi mo namang central hearing disorder, meaning partial or complete loss of hearing. So, example nito is yung mga matatanda. So, common naman na to sa mga matatanda habang paedad sila ng paedad or patanda sila ng patanda, ah, hindi na sila nakakarinig. So, kailangan na nilang gumamit ng hearing aid. Unilateral hearing impairment. So, uni means iisa, iisa lang yung merong hearing loss, then the other one is normal lang siya. Then, ang hearing loss niya is maaaring mild to severe. Then, ang cause ng sakit na ito is physical injuries or idiopathically. Ibig sabihin, yung hindi mo alam kung ano ba talaga yung cause nito. At ito ay maaring mangyari sa mga bata at matatanda. Bilateral hearing impairment. So, kanina sa unilateral hearing impairment is isa lang yung ear niya na affected. Pero dito sa bilateral is both ears are affected. So, ibig sabihin yung dalawang tenga niya is merong hearing loss. So, ang hearing loss nito is maaaring mild to severe. So, ang impact nito or ang impact ng merong taong may bilateral ay mahirap makaintindi ng speech ng tao. Then, hindi rin siya maka-enjoy ng music or kahit anong sounds. So, nahihirapan siya makipag-participate sa tao sa pang-araw-araw niya. So, sounds, kasi sounds, ito yung nami-measure sa decibels. So, yung nakikita nyo dyan sa screen nyo, yun yung decibels. Then, nami-measure niya yung loudness or softness ng isang sounds. At pag sinabi mo namang 0 decibels, ito yung pinaka lowest hearing decibels, which indicates nearly total silence. So, wala ka lang narinig. Dito naman tayo sa severity of hearing loss and resulting impairments. So, ang normal na decibels is 0 to 20. Then, slight naman is 27 to 40. So, parang yung mga distant na conversation is nahihirapan kang marinig. So, like sa school, no? Hindi ka makarinig ng mga sinasabi o tinuturo ng teacher. So, kailangan mo gumamit ng hearing aid. So, sa mild naman is 41 to 55. So, dito, 50% ng conversation is hindi mo na narinig. So, ibig sabihin, limitado na lang yung maaari mo matutunan. So, moderate naman is 56 to 70 decibels. So, parang yung malalakas lang na conversation yung naririnig mo. So, ito, nahirapan kang magsalita. Limitado lang yung vocabulary mo. So, severe naman is 71 to 90 decibels. So, kahit simutang na lang mo o isang 1 foot na lang ba, yung layo niyo sa isa't isa. Pero limitado pa rin yung mahal mo, marinig or naririnig mo. So, profound is 91 and above. Ibig sabihin, totally impaired ka na. Kumbaga, bigay ka na ba? So, vision, incidence, and prevalence. So, sa Pilipinas, 2% ng Filipinos is impaired at nadadagdagan pa ito dahil sa old age or sa katandaan. Sa US naman, sa 22 na infants na pinapanganak, merong hearing impairment. So, doon sa US is mataas yung chance na magkaroon ng hearing impairment yung mga tao. Dito naman tayo sa etiology of hearing impairment. So, genetic and hereditary types of deafness. Sabi diyan, sa 1,000 na pinanganak, 1,000 na pinanganak, mayroong isang may hearing impairment. So, maaari mo itong makuha sa parents mo or namamana. Then, next is infections. So, ito naman yung nakukuha during pregnancy or after birth. Then, sa adventitious hearing loss, so, maaari itong makuha sa injury or sa illness. So, ang common tawag dito is sudden deafness. So, nangyayari lang siya basta-basta or parang unexpected ba na mangyari inside the ear.
So, dito na tayo sa characteristics of person with hearing impairment. So, ito ay mayroong 12. So, ang una ay cups hand behind the ear or tilts head at an angle to cut sounds. So, halimbawa, kapag hindi mo masyadong dinig yung kanyang boses sa kanyang sinabi, ay pwede mo ilagay yung kamay mo sa likod ng iyong tenga katulad sa larawan na pinakita. Number 2 has stranded or black facial expression with listening or talk to. So, dapat kapag may kinausap ka ay ang iyong mukha ay blanco lamang iyong expression, no? Kapag or nakikinig ka sa kanya. Number 3, pays attention to vibration and vibrating objects. So, kailangan nating bigyan pansin ang mga bagay na maaring makadulot ng sa ating tenga, no? Like sa example, halimbawa nito ay yung headphone. Then number 4, moves closer to speaker, watches face, especially the mouth and the lips of the speaker with talk to. So number 4 nito ay halimbawa kapag kinakausap natin yung ating kaibigan ay dapat tayo tumingin sa kanyang mukha, no? Number 5, less responsive to noise, voice, music, and other sources of sounds. Number 6, uses more natural gestures, signs, and movements to express self. Halimbawa nito ay kapag may
kapag yung kaibigan ay tinanong ka kung okay ka, tapos binigyan mo siya ng sign na times up, or okay na signs. 7 shows marked imitativeness at work and play. So gaya sa pinakita sa larawan ay ginagaya niya yung ginagawa ng bata, no, to palay na entertain niya, or like sa pinakita sa larawan. 8 often fails to respond the oral questions. So no, madalas ay hindi tayo tumutugon sa mga tanong pag minsan kapag tinatanong tayo ng guro, no, lalo na kapag mayroon siyang tinatanong sa atin, tapos tayo ay hindi tayo tumutugon. Number 9, often ask for repetition of questions and statements. So kapag hindi natin masyadong na-clarify ang statement ng ating guro, ay pwede natin i-repeat ang kanyang question para malaman natin kung ano yung tama nating gawin. So number 10, often unable to follow oral directions and instructions. So madalas, no, hindi tayo makasunod sa direction at instruction kung ano ba, dahil may kanya-kanya tayong kanya-kanya natin kung hindi parang halimbawa kapag may rules hindi natin sinusunod, no? Number 11, has difficulty in associating concrete with abstract idea, no? Parang tayo lang, no, kapag minsan ay nahihirapan din tayo, no, sa pag-ugnay, lalo na sa kung ano bang mga abstract na idea na dapat natin gawin. So number 12, has poor general learning performance. So no, minsan ang poor general learning performance is halimbawa nito sa oral at mga activity, no, dito tayo makabigay ng poor learning performance. So ito yung 12 characteristic of person with hearing impairment. Next, identification and assessment of children with learning impairment. So mayroon itong tatlo. Una, ang audiology. So ang audiology ito ay isang siyensya sa pagtesting o pagsusuri sa abilidad sa pandinig sa pag-ilan o naglarawan ng kapansanan sa pandinig. Ito audiology ang tawag sa mga scientists sa detect, no, makadetect sila sa hearing impairment kung naa ba kay problem sa iyong tenga. Pangalawa ay audiological evaluation. So ang audiological evaluation, no, ito ay isa sa audiologists na base sa paggamit sa mga sospetikado ng mga instrumento o at mga technique. So ang kanilang purpose nito ay matukoy ang mga frequency ng mga tunog na naririnig ng isang particular na tao, no, kagaya sa picture na pinakita. Then ang machine na ito, no, ang ikatatlo ay ito ang audiometer. Audiometer, no, ito ay isang electronic device or electronic aparato kung saan ay nabubuo ng mga tunog sa iba't ibang level sa intensity and at frequency. Next, informal hearing test. Ang informal hearing test is dito na natin malalaman kung mayroon bang problema ang ating tenga sa pandinig, no? Ang una ay whisper test. Ang whisper test ay kung saan tinetest kung narinig ba ng pasyente yung ating sinasabi dito. Halimbawa is whisper a number or words approximately 60 cm from the patient ear and ask the patient to repeat it. No? 60 cm away from the patient ear, and meron kang sasabihin tapos yung patient mo ay kanyang i-repeat yung ang inyong sinabi. Then ang pangalawa is conversational live voice test. Dito is kapag dito ang pinakita sa larawan ay bale kayo ay nag-atbang duha tapos na siya electronic device gibutang sa imong tenga. Bale dito gites ang iyong pandinig, no? Ask him or her to repeat words contain high and low pitch consonants. Start with whisper and increase the intensity up to 20 dB, moving away from the child little by little. If kana ang bata daw kung makadungog sa distance of 3 to 6 meters, so ang iyang hearing is normal. If kana ang bata daw can repeat the words but speech is under, he or she might be hard to hearing. Ballpen click test. Dito is tinakpan yung ball pen and place it 1 inch away from the air. Sa larawan na pinakita, no, may isang bata kung saan tinakpan yung kanyang isang tenga. Tapos ano yan yung ballpen, pinalapit sa isang tenga na hindi tinakpan, tapos doon niya i-click ng down and release it yung pen. Kapag the child indicates that he or she hears the click by either raising one hand or acknowledge it with a yes or no. Now, dito natin malalaman kung nadinig niya ba yung pag-click ng ballpen. Next, cognitive assessment. Ang cognitive assessment is the assessment tools that measure intellectual capacity of children with hearing impairment. So, dito, no, do not rely primarily on verbal abilities. In the US, the SK test learning aptitude, the Wisher Intelligence Skill for Children or WISC, and the Stanford Achievement Test or SAT are widely used because of the nonverbal performance subtest. So, ang halimbawa dito is yung test questionnaire kung saan natin malalaman kung ano ang kaya ng isang bata, no, sa kanyang pagsagot sa binigay mo ng test paper. So pangalawa, assessment of communication ability. Dito is assessment of speech and language ability includes an analysis of the development of the form, content, and use of language, articulation, pitch, frequency, and quality of voice are examined. Ang halimbawa dito is yung dinig ng isang bata, yung speech niya kung low ba or high. Next is social and behavioral assessment. Hearing impairment brings about significant effect on social, emotional, and personality development as the result of the restrictive interactive experience and communication activities with their age group. Linguistic difficulties oftentimes show in low self-concept and social emotional maladjustment. Ano siya ang social and behavioral assessment.
Ang sign language is ito yung ginagamit ng mga merong hearing impairment para makipag-communicate. So, yun yung nakikita nyo sa illustration or sa picture. Yun yung ginagamit ng mga merong hearing impairment.
Next, educational placement. In the Philippines, students with a hearing impairment like other students with disabilities are mainstream, no? In regular class, either full-time or a part-time. A special education teacher assists the regular teachers in seeing to it that students receive as much instructions as their classmates, no? As a teacher, it can be equally challenging to teach with like a hearing impaired child, no? Yung pagkakawala ng kanilang pandinig ng mga bata, no? Is effectively without adequate tools or training for both, no? It can sometimes feel like there is an imaginary pane of glass, no, keeping each from communicating effectively with each other. Parang nakikipag even wala silang mga tools is matutulungan sila sa mga special education teachers, even regular teachers na ma-accommodate sila ng maigi kung paano sila matutulungan sa kanilang disabilities. So lalo na may mga bata na hindi nagre-respond sa silid ng aralan pag kanilang pangalan ay tinatawag. Other is problem with concentration, excessive tiredness and frustration with the work that starts to affect their behaviors, no? Other is watching your lips intently as you speak. Mas maintindihan ng mga bata kung kanilang kinakausap is parang nagbubukang bibig, kaya mas kakailanganin nilang ng mga educational placement, lalo na sa sign language, ganyan. Tapos some special programs, education programs employ as interfere in the regular class who translate the verbal activities into sign and gesture to enable the students to follow the stations. No? Kasi pag may mga educational programs na nag-interfere na sa regular class na nag-offer ng mga verbal activities, no? Katulad ng sign language, gestures, no? Kung paano nila tinuruan yung mga bata na may hearing impairment na makakaintindi sa kanila. And the special education teacher gives a special instruction in the resource room or in the special education center or oral of total communications. Manual communication that includes a finger spelling and different sign system, auditory verbal training and cued speech. So may mga bata talaga na mga bata na may hearing impairment, no, mas kakailanganin nila nito, katulad ng oral special education center, oral or a total communication, no, manual communication that includes yung sign language, no, and spelling and sign system para makakaintindi sila sa mga makakaintindi sila sa kanilang kausap. Kaya may interpreter na mag-guide sa kanila kung paano ipapaintindi sa kanila ang sinabi or ang words ng kanilang kausap. So next is support services. Communication accessibility is provided by a sign language and oral interpreters inside and outside of the classrooms. So this may be done in either of two ways. Sign language interpreters translates a speaker words into American Sign Language, no, using their hands and fingers, and then they repeat aloud that the person's sign a response to the speaker. So which is oral interpreters is carefully mouth words, no, without voicing, totally, which is silent, no, aloud from a deaf person who can speak and read. So isa rin sa mga rason kung bakit ang sign language is beneficial para sa mga bata na may hearing loss, no, is that it provides provides them with a way of how they communicate from their early age, no. This can be a crucial for their, sign language is has been shown to have a positive impact on the language skills of students with have hearing loss. So computer aided instruction, or CAI, reinforces through knowledge and skills learned in the different subject areas. So CAI, or computer aided instruction, no, it helps us student have hearing impairment, no, to understand the other and to communicate better themselves. So there, as I know, there are the 5 general, based on my research, no, there are the 5 general types of assistive learning: listening devices, audio induction. So these are called hearing, or the first is the audio induction, or a hearing loop, no, and then FM system, infrared system, personal amplifier system, and the Bluetooth system. They can also use cochlear implants, no, is a this is a small complex of electronic device, no, that can help to provide sense of sounds to a person who is profoundly deaf or a severe hard of hearing, no. Isa siyang maliit na electronic device na ilalagay sa tenga ng individual na may hearing loss or hearing impairment. So next is suggestion for teaching student with hearing impairment in regular class, no. First is to promote the acceptance of student with hearing impairment in the regular class. No, kailangan natin i-promote na kahit may mga disabilities yung mga bata, or especially hearing impairment, no, ay kailangan pa rin silang tanggapin sa regular na klase. And then welcome the students to your class. Dapat rin silang i-welcome sa isang regular na klase, katulad ng pag-welcome natin sa mga regular na mga bata na walang disabilities, no, walang especially in hearing impairments. Then explain the students' condition to the entire class. So you need to explain your regular students that you have hearing impairment students, no. You need to explain of their disabilities to your entire class, and then make modification in teaching as natural as possible, and then acceptance the students as individual with abilities and limitations. So yes, tatanggapin pa rin sila as individual na kahit may disabilities at may limitations sila sa kanilang may limitation sila kasi may disability sila. And then discuss the students and condition with him or her. So dapat mo rin ipapaintindi sa mga regular student mo na kung ano ang kanyang disabilities, bakit siya may disabilities na ganyan, or anong dapat i-accommodate sa kanya pag nakikipag communicate ka sa may hearing impairment na estudyante. At saka be sure that prescribed hearing aids and other applications devices are used. So next is obtain the student's attention before speaking. No, a tap of the shoulder, a wave, or another visual signals is usually effective. And then clue the individual who is hearing impaired into the topic of discussions. So in this part, no, students who are deaf need to know what subject matter will be discussed in order to pick up words that help them follow the conversations. And then next is speak slowly and clearly. No, they need to speak slowly and clearly, but they do not yell, no, exaggerate or overpronounce. Because exaggeration and overemphasize of words, no, distort lips movement and making speech reading more difficult for them. And also look directly at the student when speaking, no, even the slight turn of your head can obscure their ability to see your lips. And then do not place anything on your mouth when speaking. Most touches, no, that obscure the lips, smoking, pencil, chewing, and putting your hands in the front of your face, and I think all make it difficult for them, no, who are deaf or students with have hearing impairment. And then maintain eye contact with the students, no, we need to maintain eye contact, no, to convey the feelings of direct communication for them, even if sign language of interpreter is present. And then to continue to speak directly to individual who is deaf or have a hearing loss. And then also we need to avoid standing in front of a light, no, source such as a window or a bright light, because bright background and shadows created on the face make it almost impossible to speech read for the students. And then if the students indicate that they do not understand you, please repeat and then try to rephrase a thought rather than repeating the same words, no, because if the person only missed one of two or the first time, no, one repetition will usually help. And then sit the students to his or her best advantage, no, this usually means a sit opposite the speaker to the person with hearing impairment can see the speaker lips, no. The speaker should be illuminated clearly, so be aware of the room's lighting. And also